Hello and welcome to another episode of the Real Shot to 56. This is Evening Crypto, and tonight we are going to talk about just a couple of things. Actually, just XRP. There's been a bit of news recently in the last week or so going on with XRP, and then we're going to get into the charts with Bitcoin and some alts. I'm going to try to keep it again relatively short for this video. Just a quick update. It is Tuesday. We did see continuation of the bounce for Bitcoin. So let's talk about that. And again, just a little bit about what's going on with XRP. So we're currently trading at market cap at 267.6 billion. And then we're trading 24-hour volume 60 billion.8. Now, Bitcoin dominance is worth mentioning that it is up to 7.5% according to CoinMarketCap. Now, if you look at what TradingView is reporting on this, it's actually a little bit different here. Let's actually take a look at it. TradingView is actually letting us know that the Bitcoin dominance is actually currently standing at 72.86, almost 73%. So there's a little bit of discrepancy here. CoinMarketCap has traditionally been the place to go for this sort of information as far as trading and Bitcoin dominance. However, TradingView is also a very reputable source, so I kind of want to go with what TradingView is showing. If you guys have a different opinion on this, please let me know, and let me know why you would choose one over the other. But it is showing us that Bitcoin has definitely ticked up way over 70% now at 72.86 and inching upwards, right? Again, going back to, I'm not going to get into too much of that, but the altcoin season is nowhere near. You keep hearing, and I keep seeing it all over crypto Twitter, all over these different channels, that the altcoin season, one of the dumbest things I've heard recently was that last time we were at 70 percentile Bitcoin dominance, which was the all-time high for Bitcoin, was sort of the trigger for altcoin season. That has got to be one of the stupidest things I've heard in this space in a long time. Because first of all, Bitcoin dominance actually has done nothing but decline for a very long time, and now we see that since 2018 when it bottomed out down here at December 13, 2018, at its lowest peak. It actually started to bounce from there, and we've actually made significant increments and significant leaps on the upward side, and to the point where we're now at 72.86. So again, just be careful with what you see and read and hear out there. This sort of thing is not any way, shape, or form indicative that the altcoin summer is coming. All right. So like I said, I'm going to keep it short on that end. Don't want to get too much into that. You guys know how this channel feels about that and how we've been reporting on that specifically. So I do want to talk about a little bit about this, and then we'll show you guys this chart. Ripple releases another 500 million of XRP, equaling 130 million despite recent fork threats. Although XRP seems to be heavily undercapitalized, Ripple keeps its business policies on course, and the sales of massive chunks of XRP continue despite the rage of some hodlers. Just a few hours ago, Ripple released 500 million more XRP out of escrow. The transaction took place on September 3rd, earlier today, and is part of a normal process of XRP sales carried out by the company to stay afloat. This is very important. That at this point, the Crypto Potato is reporting that XRP, the company, Ripple, is having to perform these things. I mean, they've been performing, to be fair, they've been performing this. It's part of their code, it's part of their white paper. They release these 500 million XRPs out of escrow every month and dump them back into the market, creating a huge amount of inflation on XRP to the tune of about 25%. So, and then it goes on. Ripple has triggered the annoyance of many XRP investors who believe that this excessive liquidity injection causes an important downward price pressure. To put it in simpler terms, they think XRP sales benefit Ripple at the cost of harming all investors. Recently, Twitter user and ex-proud member of the XRP ARMY, Crypto BitLord, became one of this group's visible faces after launching a campaign against Ripple, asking the company to stop dumping billions of XRP. To Mr. Crypto Lord, let me tell you something. If you didn't read the white paper and you decided to invest in this sort of thing, then it's your own fault that you're losing money with XRP. And to anybody out there, again, let's take some responsibility. You are the investor in this case. Again, if somebody was paying you money to manage somebody's assets, somebody's portfolio, wouldn't you do this due diligence? Wouldn't you conduct some due diligence in representation of this client, and for and for responsibility purposes? Wouldn't you have done some research on that in particular investment? That is, again, looking at it from a perspective of a financial representative who is supposedly the expert in the subject matter, and these people are putting trust in you, right? Look at it from that perspective. Would you have done anything different if this was somebody else's money and you were being paid? You were part of a corporation, call it XYZ Crypto Investments. Wouldn't you have done a little bit more research and taken account the fact that there is such a thing as a release of escrow to the tune of 130 million per month, $130 million per month, creating a huge downward effect on the price of your asset? And also, this is done through inflation, right? There is a schedule that was, this was never a lie. This XRP, the Ripple company, have never lied about this, or have never been shady about announcing and letting people know how they operate on a monthly basis. The fact that in the past you've had a huge run up in price on XRP to the tune of about $3.50 was due because there was a huge influx of buyers. And now that all those buyers are gone, you see the actual effect of huge inflation on the price of XRP. So if you're mad about this, look inwards, look back at you and at yourself, and really analyze the reasoning behind your investment. Really think about what you did. Were you a little bit, just a little tiny bit, maybe responsible for losing money with XRP since 2018, or let's call it 2018. So that is something that I want to leave you with. Again, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Let's look at the chart to complement this article here. We're looking at the daily, currently trading at 26 cents, which has been a historic area of support as well. We actually broke down from this historic area of support, which was pretty terrifying if you ask me. I don't hold any XRP, so I'm not really suffering here. I'm not really in a crisis, but I'll tell you who is in a crisis, and it's a bunch of XRP hodlers who have also threatened to fork off the. It's in this article here. I'll post the link to it so you guys can read further. But it does talk about how there is enough rage from the community that they're even threatening to fork the code into their own XRP. I don't know what they would call it. Actually, let's do something here. Why don't you guys leave a comment down below and let me know what the fork would be called? What do you think if this happens, what do you think the fork would be called? XRP Cash? Maybe Roger Ver will come in and claim that one. Yeah, currently trading at this huge historic area of support. If Bitcoin does decide to take another dump, though, we could come back and look at which, again, if you've been following this channel, I've been telling you about these areas of support where I do think XRP is headed. Eventually, I do think once Bitcoin has another correction, especially if it breaks down from its current formation, I do think we're going to come back and retest 19 cents. Just a heads up for you all out there. And again, this is again from something that I do think has a slight influence on the price and the community of XRP. Is the community imploding on itself, the community really calling out the XRP, Ripple, the company, and really urging Ripple to change their business practices. I mean, fundamentally, they're asking to change how Ripple operates as a company. I don't think that's going to happen because, again, these Ripple tokens are not staked in the company. You are not a board member. You are not part of the company. You are not somebody with influence. It doesn't matter how big your bags are in XRP. You still are not going to have a voice, a vote. They don't have to listen to you. And that's very important for everyone to realize. It's not like traditional markets. These tokens don't mean ownership. They don't mean anything. They just mean you're in some sort of cryptocurrency investment, and hopefully you know what you're doing. That's really what that means. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound very too harsh on this, but you know, it just, when I see this sort of thing, it really gets under my skin, because we as investors have to take responsibility for what's going on in our mistakes. You're never going to learn to invest properly or be a better investor in the future if you don't take responsibility for some of your bad calls. Uh, I mean, I'll just leave it at that, right? So again, let's look at the chart. The daily actually looks like it wants to pop up a little bit here on the daily. RSI is looking pretty erect here, and actually got above the 21 once again. If we do get past this area here, this previous area of resistance, I do think we could come back and retest 29 cents again. So let's look out for that. It does look like it has some legs in it left. So again, let's just wait and see what happens from here. But again, just be very mindful if you see Bitcoin having a dump again. Now, let's also talk about this. Bitcoin did have a huge correction from here. Let's bring this up. Right? Look at this. Look at this huge correction and bounce from Bitcoin. And look at this non-existing bounce from Ripple. Again, and this has been going on with not only with Ripple, it's been going on with a lot of altcoins, right? I mean, just look at this. This is the kind of thing that I've been telling you guys about. Altcoins are getting hit really hard, and they're not bouncing back up with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is really squeezing the life out of this market, and we do see another proof here, another piece of proof here that, look, Bitcoin is also reaching for dominance levels that we haven't seen in a long time. So, you know, I'm not making this up. I'm just showing you the information. I'm just showing you what I'm seeing, and I'm just trying to tell you guys, hey, look, you know, I don't know you guys personally, but you know, it's easy to be better than this, right? You just have to put your mind to it, do a little bit of research, and you know, use these tools to your advantage, so you do become a better investor, and you stop losing money and you stop making money, right? That's what this channel is about. And if you've been here long enough, you know what this is about. All right, so again, look at this bounce, look at the non-existent bounce. Just, you know, pay attention to those things. And really, you don't fall in love with your investment. That's the wrong thing. That's the wrong mindset to have with money. You know, I know you probably believe in the XRP fundamentals and how they're being utilized by the banks, and you know, they're playing by the rules, and they're what do you call it? They are SEC friendly, regulator friendly, if that's what you want to call it. But you know, don't fall in love with your investment, because it doesn't love you back, right? Only on a full-blown bull market like we saw back in 2017 does XRP actually love you back, when there's more buyers and just a huge amount of hype and FOMO going on. That will again, that doesn't mean it loves you back. It's just a condition of the market. All right, so let's get off of there. Actually, let's look at the 4-hour real quick, and then we'll move on. Just getting rejected off the bullish control zone here. So it is, I mean, this is a minor bounce, but it does already look like it wants to come back and just head downward some more. So we could come back and retest 26 cents. Actually, sorry, 22 cents. All right, leave it down in the comments. What do you think the new fork of XRP should or will be called, if that happens? All right, let's go to Bitcoin. Let's actually start with a daily and bring it back in. And so the high so far has been 10,773. The low has been 10,272 for the day. As I was telling you guys yesterday, we did get above this area of support here on the bounce. We actually found the top right around here above 10,500, which we're still trading right above it. As long as we don't go under 10,500 and we start opening and closing anything below that, I do remain bullish, and I do think this run has not ended. As again, I did paint some expected moves, measured moves off of the technical analysis portion of yesterday's video last night. If you guys want to go back and watch that, you would understand why this yellow line is here. So at this point, it does look like, again, as long as we keep opening and closing candles above 10.5, we have to remain bullish. We have to remain bullish. Now, if we get rid of these and actually bring back these guys, also told you guys last night, we are finding pretty good support above the 55. What did we do here? Did we switch to, no, we didn't. Okay, there we go. All right, so as long as we're finding support above the 55, that was, I was telling you guys that is going to be a great sign that for us to be able to remain bullish. But again, right now we're a very healthy price range, 10.5. I like to see this daily candle, kind of stay above the 10.5 for tomorrow's closing at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in the U.S. We are currently, it looks like we're currently right at the 100 simple here. So, I mean, plenty of reasons on the short term to be quite bullish. Now, again, the daily on the RSI is trying to take into the bullish control zone up above this area. Hopefully it does not reject, although I think that if we do close again this candle, this daily candle below the 10.5 and to 10.4, 10.3, I do think the exponential here on the RSI will get rejected and come back into the neutral zone, and then we could see a retracement to the 55, certainly to 10.280, right? We could definitely see that happening. But right now, there's yet to be a reason to start to call for that move to the downside. Although this candle here is looking like a hammer. These typically are indicative of a reversal. So meaning that we would find Bitcoin to actually definitely come back and retest the 55 here on the daily. Again, this is too early to tell, right? It's only 3 hours and 40 minutes after the new daily candle, so we'll have to wait and see what tomorrow brings, and see if we can push this candle and this price action upwards, so we don't remain in this 10.5 area, because if it does, this is very likely going to mean a reversal, guys. So definitely watch out for that. This is typically a reversal candle if it stays here, but again, too early to call it. So relax. Let's just wait to see what happens tomorrow. All right, let's actually look at the lower time frames. Lower time frames are actually definitely showing very, very bullish signs. Again, bouncing off the 30 simple right here. I mean, just a nice bounce off of that area. And look at these candles too on the shorter time frames. Like this one, this looks, it all could be said to be either a hanging man or a hammer. And so these are again indicative of a reversal, which we are having right now, right? So this all looks in confluence to what's going on. But then we also see sort of a downward channel or widening wedge over here, kind of forming on the 4-hour, which could also mean that it could be also forming a bullish flag, right? So pay attention to that as well, which would also, as long as again we remain above 10.5 overall within this formation, and we don't start opening and closing candles below 10.5, say 10.4, 10.3, then there should be continuation to the upside here. This could be just a minor correction before we do head to upward price action. If we do bring our previous areas of resistance, the next area we want to look at will be, after this breaks out, will be 10.8. Okay, I am leaning towards this being the finished product here. And if we look at, let's actually maybe look at the 3-hour. Okay, so if we look at this measured move here, these are the two possible scenarios, right? We could end the move here at 10.845, or we could end the move anywhere in between these 2 points. This is the macro trend area of descending resistance here. This line up here, painted in red. So meaning that if we do get to about 11,100 in the next couple of days, that should be a key area of resistance that I am certainly going to be looking to actually de-risking a little bit. And to give you a little bit more insight, I also entered a sell order at 10,800. That's where I am definitely going to start de-risking my position here at 10,800. Again, not financial advice. That's kind of what I'm doing. If you guys want to follow on that, that you're more than welcome to. But I will be de-risking a little bit there at 10,800, actually a little below this line here, just to make sure I do get my order filled. And then I am, depending on how the day progresses tomorrow, I am looking to actually put more sell orders in these levels around, let's call it 11,000 and then 11,100. Hopefully we'll hit those in the next couple of days. If not, again, there's nothing to really tell us to get bearish right at this moment. We are seeing the 3-hour kind of having a bounce here. Let's see if it does actually defend this area here. We just got a new 3-hour. The last 3-hour closed here above the 30 simple, which again is another sign to stay bullish. The fact that we came back down and touched the simple 200 there is I'm sorry, the simple 10 right here is a pretty good indication that we're still within the bullish area here within regards to price. Again, we could come back and retest the bottom of the bullish area here and hopefully have a bounce. We'll know in the next couple of hours actually. Let's look at the 2-hour. 2-hour is actually below the 30 simple. Now, will this start to show some confluence in the higher time frames, like the 3-hour and the 4-hour? If we go back to the 4-hour, let's see where the 30 now, we did actually have a nice bounce off the 30. The 2-hour is telling us we're right above it. These 3-hour, 4-hours do hold a little bit more weight than the 2 and the 1 hour, just because again they're longer time frames again, and those things are going to tell you a little bit more. But sometimes we know that within at least within Bitcoin, we do see some trends starting to form from the 1 hour, the 2 hour, and onto the 3, the 4, and above that. So we do have to watch those as well. Currently trading under the 30. Does look like it is being rejected at this moment. There's definitely some sell pressure there, a little bit there. But I do anticipate again that we break above this here in the next day or two. Let's look at the 1 hour, see how that's doing. Actually looking very, very tired right now into the bottom of the neutral area. Does it actually go all the way down? We'll see. We'll have to wait for a couple more of these hourly candles to close before we can actually make such assumption. I do think it looks like we are bouncing on the lower time frames. The 1 hour does look like we're bouncing off of the 100 simple here, and we're currently trading right at the 21 EMA. So not looking too bad again here. We are going to find some resistance here at the 30. right around 10,609, as we've seen all day. Bitcoin being rejected off the 10.6, 10.7 area. So be mindful of that. You know, if we've been riding this move since down here, since call it 9,300, you know, not a bad point to, yeah, point to start de-risking off of your position there. Again, you've probably made some good profits there. If you entered along there as well, depending on your leverage as well, that may not be a bad idea to secure some of these gains. But again, not financial advice. Just giving you guys some thoughts and ideas. Again, the 1 hour is looking pretty bad, but I don't think this could be some divergence building up here. Actually, we'll see in the next few hours. I do want to see this slight bounce here. I don't know if we can call it a bounce, but this upside, this bounce off the 100 simple here. I do want to see that reflected on the RSI. Otherwise, we're going to have some short-term problems here. We might actually end up going back to retest the 55 there. But again, these are lower time frames. Let's just keep an eye on them. But at the same time, don't hold too much weight on those. All right, let's see. What else? Let's look at Litecoin. Litecoin hitting to $68. Let's actually get rid of this guy here. All right, there we go. So Litecoin got into, let's see, what was the low here? Really low levels here. The low was 64.89 since this big dip. Now again, look at this bounce, right? Let's actually go back to Bitcoin because I do want to give you guys a full measurement on this. Look at the overall move is about 15% on Bitcoin's bounce. Let's look at the bounce on Litecoin here. Total 13%. Okay, so I mean, yeah, Litecoin's just been one of those that whenever Bitcoin does something, Litecoin does follow. So not going to be too harsh on Litecoin. I do think it has actually reacted very well to Bitcoin bouncing here. So there is something to be positive on. And also look at the posture right now. Currently sitting right on top of this area of support here, coming in confluence with the 200 EMA, which is going to be a great area of support here. Now that we actually got above it, it should act as major support here. Major support. And we do have two areas of confluence here with some previous area of support and resistance, currently acting as support, and then we have the 200 coming in right there along with it. So I don't think this area breaks right now. I do think there should be some buying pressure coming in here, as long as again Bitcoin doesn't decide to dump. There should be some buying pressure here, maybe coming back and retest. Now we're looking at the 2 hour. That was the 1 hour. So 1 hour looking pretty bullish. Let's look at the 2 hour. 2 hour does look like, you know, if we have we're bouncing off the 21, so it does look like we can come back and retest the 200 EMA here on the 2 hour. Let's look at the 3 hour real quick. 3 hour getting below the 21 exponential here on the RSI, but we are bouncing off the 21 and the 55 here, coming in confluence as well. Nothing to be bearish about yet. The 30 simple is acting as resistance. We do have quite a bit of work to do if we want to retest the 200 on the 3 hour. This one matters more. This one actually matters a lot more on the 3 hour. 200 EMA is coming in at $74. It's going to be a huge area of resistance. Now in the 4 hour though, things look a little better. No, actually no. Sorry about that. Spoke too soon. 200 coming in way above here at $77. But you know, there's a lot of work to be done. Bitcoin would actually have to have a massive, I think, run to the upside here in the next day or two before we can actually talk about this. But again, this is also indicative of a this looks like a inverted hammer here, which also is indicative of a reversal trend. So and we do actually see it play out here. So this would make sense, right? Will we actually keep going down? I believe, again, we did find a pretty good area of support showing us on the 1 hour. 1 hour is actually calling it pretty good right now in the shorter time frame. 1 hour is definitely looking like it does want to bounce. It is going to defend this $67 area. 4 hours looking like a confluence there. Yep, looking like $67 is going to be a heavy area of support. So I don't anticipate it actually going down below it unless Bitcoin out of nowhere decides to dump, although it doesn't seem to be in the cards right now. Let's just say that it doesn't seem to be in the cards right now. Bitcoin does not seem like it wants to break down just now. I mean, in the next, let's call it the next day or two, doesn't look like it wants to break down. But again, it does look like it's having a slight correction and taking a breather here at the moment. Let's look at Ethereum here real quick. Ethereum on the 4 hour, looking like, look at this. I've actually set this up for you guys. Wow. Now this is starting to look like a possible fake out, not a breakout. I mean, we did break above this heavy area of resistance, and but then we fizzled out pretty darn quickly. So this could be said to be a fake out. So keep an eye on it. It doesn't mean that it's over. It is actually currently trading above that line of resistance here. So keep an eye on it. If this definitely, I guess if you take something out of this video tonight, make sure you keep an eye on Ethereum because it could potentially break out of here. It actually, got above it and open and closed in 4 hours above it. So that is significant. Whether it breaks down from here and it actually ends up being a fake out, it's quite possible. It looks like 50-50, but I would say keep an eye on it, especially if Bitcoin does decide to have another rally to the upside. Then definitely this should have a nice bounce. You are going to find some resistance here at 184. It would be probably a good area for you to de-risk off of that position. But if you want to maybe front run that and start getting in here, not financial advice, but this we could see a bounce here again, pending what Bitcoin does tomorrow. And again, coming back to 184 as the 184, 185 will be the next area where you might want to take a little bit of risk off. And then the 200 EMA coming in here in confluence with our previous area of resistance or support is now acting as resistance. We actually have to change the color on this one to show. Make sure that we keep our charts color coordinated according to what's going on. So that would mean that this area would also have to switch to red. Let's do that so you guys can tell the difference here. So 184, 185, and then we have 194, 195 also coming in here with the 200 EMA, huge area of resistance right here. You could say that it would be safe to actually do risk quite a bit off of here. But on the other side of that, if we do actually get above the simple 200 and we close at daily, now we're talking daily here, daily candle above the 200 EMA here on the 4 hour. That was dumb. I just realized what I said. That was dumb. Scratch that. If we close some 4 hour candles above the EMA, the 200 EMA, gosh, having all sorts of trouble here. So closing 4 hour, opening and closing 4 hours above this, the 200 EMA are going to be significant here. It means we have regained the 200 EMA, and there is plenty of reasons to actually get bullish on Ethereum and look for the next area up above here at 209. That seems like a bit far-fetched at this very moment, but again, look for this area. If we break above it at 195, then look for a continuation of that run. Let's look at the daily now, so we can talk daily candles, daily action. All right, so we did open up this. We didn't actually close above this daily here. We didn't actually close above this area of resistance, but we did open this daily candle above it. Okay, this is meaningful, guys. This is very meaningful. So that's why I'm saying keep an eye on Ethereum. If you get something out of this video, is if you're looking for a trade in Ethereum, this is a good time to keep an eye on it. right? Because again, we just opened up a daily on top of it. We could see continuation up till 185. We do have the 21 coming in here in confluence at 185 as well. So if we do break above it, I do think we're going to come back and retest again 194, which on the 4-hour is confluent with none other than the 200 EMA. All right, huge. I am going to leave a little sticky note on my computer here to remember to keep my eyes on Ethereum. All right, guys, that is all I have for this update. Hopefully, I didn't ramble on too much for too long. Again, I want to be mindful of your time. I will leave you with this. Always remember, if you had $1 million worth of Venezuelan bolivars in 2013, it would now be worth less than 37 cents. Aren't you glad you are not in bolivars? And aren't you glad that you're in Bitcoin instead? All right. So remember, please follow me on Twitter, The Real Shot 256. I do post constant content there. A lot of trolling going on over there if you guys want to check that out. I'm also on Instagram. A lot of content there as well at The Real Shot 256. If you did get something out of this video in exchange for your time, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you do get warnings when we do put out these videos and content. All right, guys, have a great night. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much for joining.